old heart impacts past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, whenever we last left off, we had Izuki Midoriya and her allies, Monoma, Taskmaster, and Shinsho, the Winter Soldier. Now, we also briefly explain what happened to Bakugo Katsuki and Ochako Yuraka. Bakugo is basically this universe's version of the Punisher, and Yuraka is basically his sidekick. I believe I have her name written down somewhere, but I'm not gonna get up to check right now. Anyways, now, with that, we also have the introduction of Madame Mask. However, this is not part of their stories. We can briefly explain them, possibly in the next part, if you guys do want to understand her character origins. Now, with that, we will pick up 2 months later from the original point after the infiltration of the base and takeover. So this would be about 1.5 months before the present day, or a month and a half before the present day. Now, with that, let us continue. We do have Izuki Midoriya, her riding on the back of a motorcycle. And you actually have Shinsho, who is actually driving. These two are not in tactical gear, nor are they actually in their outfits. Shinsho is wearing a hoodie, and a pair of gloves to cover his metallic hand. And we also do actually have Izuki, who is wearing a standardized red hoodie and a leather jacket over it, or at least something that does match up. Now, she's basically just trying to look like a street kid, or somebody you wouldn't really want to stare at for too long, otherwise you can cause a problem. Now, along with that, she also does at least carry a gun and a knife. Her actually deciding to leave her widow's gauntlets within her jacket, simply just undoing them and actually flattening them down. If anything does go wrong, she can quickly pull one out and strap it to her arm, and use it as a weapon. Now, you also do have the Winter Soldier. He himself was actually offered one of Izuki's gauntlets. However, he doesn't really want one, talking about how if anything does go wrong, he has a weapon in his arm. Now, with that, we do have them pulling into their destination, and Shinsho actually turning off the bike, before walking it over behind a dumpster. Him pulling the dumpster out a little bit as he does actually slide the bike behind it, and angle a trash can in front of it, before turning around and asking Izuki if this is their destination. Her looking down at her map, saying yes, this is where the target wanted to meet. Now, this is quite curious. Within their time frame of studying the AIM technology and looking through multiple different servers and computer files they did have, they found an entire list of everyone who has worked for this facility. And quite a bit of names on that list are X'd out, or the men have either died serving in action, or they've been in multiple different accidents. In fact, some of these people who have died are actually pro-heroes, and it's quite interesting. Now, with that being said, these two do actually walk into a door, or at least have to knock on it and give a password that they were told to use. As soon as it does actually happen, a man does actually open the door, and the two do walk in, walking down 3 sets of stairs. As you do actually turn your head, seeing a bunch of people with their hands up in the air, cheering on what's going on, as there's two men fighting in a ring, and they're both going bare knuckle boxing. Now, with that, Izuki does actually watch one man get socked across the face as blood goes flying on the mat. The other one going to sock them directly up in their ribcage and just keep punching. Now, you do actually watch as the guy does grab the guy by the back of the neck and force his nose directly into his knee, pulling him backwards and just hitting him over and over and over again, before tossing the guy backwards and getting on top of him as he just begins to beat away at the man. The guy throwing his legs up and wrapping them around the guy's neck, before using the momentum and smashing him directly downwards, wrapping his arms around the guy's leg as he actually does begin to fight with the man. He's trying to cut off the man's airways to take him out. Now, while Yuzuki does actually look at that fight, we do actually have Shinsho, who does take a seat down at the bar. Now, with that, Izuku actually does walk over and take a seat as well, the bartender coming by and asking them a few questions. Now, the man does actually ask them if they aren't a bit too young to be in here. To which Izuki, she simply just pulls out a few $100s, putting it down on the table and sliding over to the man, saying that they do need some information. Okay. Well, the man says, grabbing the money and sliding it into his pocket, saying that he can't turn down a paying customer, asking them what their drink preference would be. Now, they don't really say anything, looking over at each other, and they both just look back at the man, saying that they're not here for a drink, they're here for information. Now, they go on asking if this name means anything to the man. Now, the man doesn't really say anything, saying that if they do want to know more about it, then, well, ask around, and see who might be in here. Now, with that, Izuki just begin to message her contact, or who she got this information from. And she does actually get into contact with them. The person calling on the phone, and she does actually walk away from the bar. And Shinsho does begin to ask around for different people. Now, she does actually get on the line, asking the man if he is here or not. The distorted voice going on to state that yes, he is. And he does actually ask exactly how many of them are there. Izuki responding with 2. And that she's the redhead with the red hoodie. Now, with that being said, somebody does actually tap on Izuki's shoulder. And she does actually turn around, expecting it to be Shinsho. However, it's that very same bartender. Now, he does actually hang up his phone, and go on to state that he wasn't too sure if it really was them. Now, with that, he goes on saying that they're going to need to close down for the night so they can properly talk. It's already very late and near closing time anyways. Now, the man has actually announced to everyone that it's closing time right now, and people watching the match get quite annoyed. Along with the man who does actually go on stating that his winning streak is still alive tonight, and that he needs to at least break it, saying that he needs one more match. Now, with that, he does go and argue with the man, and other people actually do so and begin to shout, one more match, one more match. And then there is what happens. Shinsho, he actually does take off his jacket and walk up and throw himself into the ring before he does actually bring his hands up. And you do actually watch his long sleeve shirt somewhat slide down. And some people do see that metallic glow on his arm, thinking that he has some sort of strange quirk. Now, with that being said, the man does actually look at Shinsho and somewhat laugh, thinking that this boy is gonna beat him. Really? This is gonna be very easy. As the fight does begin, and Shinsho, he dodges the man's first punch. With his metal arm, he grabs the man by his throat, picks him up, and squeezes down on some of the nerves in his neck, quickly throwing him over his head and smashing his head directly down to the mat head first. His face going through the ring, and him sticking through half of it. Shinsho then picking him up, as he quickly just begins to spin the man. As soon as he does do that, he throws him out of a high window, the man being sent flying out of it, before Shinsho goes on stating that everyone needs to clear out now. Now, everyone who was surprised by that quickly fall under Shinsho's brainwashing, and then follow his orders. The bartender actually watching that happen. Shinsho jumping out of the ring, and stating that that will be all. And that he then goes on stating that he'll pay for that window later. Uh, Alright. Not the first time that's happened. Anyways, exactly what do you want to talk about? Then I'm going to sit down and actually be in a conversation. Izuki does want to know about certain facilities, asking him if he does know anything about them, possible security codes or other things that could be useful to them. Now, the man goes on saying that even though he did have quite high clearance, he hasn't been within that program for a couple of years. So, it's doubtful that any information he does hand over to them could still be useful. Now, he does actually go on stating, as he's brainwashed by Shinsho, as to make sure they get honest answers. Now, Shinsho does actually order the man to write down any information he does think will be useful to them, and old access codes and clearance codes. The man beginning to do so, writing all these things down. Now, Shinsho also does begin questioning him, asking about any secret project he does know of, anything that would be useful, base locations all around Japan, and the whole shebang. Now, let's say about 2 to 4 hours will pass, and after all this time, they've gotten a hefty amount of information, possibly even a small book full. Let's say around 50 to 70 pages of information. And it's all quite interesting. Now, at least 10 pages of this are supposed to be put together and form a map of Japan. And it does actually show possible bases. Now, with that all being said, the two do actually thank the man and inform him that they will not be contacting him further, as Izuki does actually slide over something that the man will need. Her giving him one of the advanced face reconstructing masks that she does carry. Basically what you can use to hide your identity. Along with actually sliding him a couple $1,000s in USD, or United States money. Now, she does then inform the man that all the information that he has given them will be very vital, and he does want to keep this, going on to state that if he is to leave the country, this can give him a bit more extra security. The man looking down at the mask and seeing it, somewhat stating that he hasn't seen one of these things in a long time. him thanking the two as they do actually walk out of the bar. Now, as that does actually happen, these two, they do actually go to leave. Shinsho putting his jacket back on as they begin to walk up the staircase. Now, as that does actually happen, the two do go on talking. Izuki stating that the amount of information he's given them was useful, and that it might actually be beneficial. Now, Shinsho and her do actually be in a small conversation, as they actually are about to get through the door. Now, as soon as they get to the door, this is whenever something strange does actually begin to happen, or occur. A hand pops through it, and this immediately sends Shinsho and Izuki backwards, the two being to back away, and go back down the staircase. As somebody begins to walk straight through the door, and they're wearing an entire outfit exactly like this. Now, the person isn't saying a single word. However, they do have bloody fingertips and arms, clearly indicating that they've been killing people. Now, with all that being said, these two, they actually do go to draw their weapons and fire at these threats. However, they find that bullets pass straight through them. And Izuki, she immediately puts it together as to who this person is. They are the assassin known as Ghost. A rumor has been spreading, and upon looking at AIM's radio signals, information has been passed along about her. Now, with that being said, Izuki, she immediately just grabs Shinsho and begins to run back down the stairs more, as she actually does inform him that they can't fire any shots at her. They're going to pass straight through her, and she's going to kill them. Now, as soon as it does actually happen, you do have the man, who is at the bar. He immediately just took off running, going through the back door, to his vehicle. Now, with that, Izuku and the Winter Soldier do be in a plan. They need to get back to the bike. If they go out through the back, it is possible that there are more reinforcements. If they go through the front, that means that they can at least have a chance of getting their vehicle. Now, they actually do agree, taking a running start and running straight at the ring, and jumping onto it. As soon as they are able to do that, they jump up higher, and are able to go through the broken window. As soon as they do that, Izuki, she quickly just crashes her body completely together, and she braces herself for a landing, immediately doing so as she lands on her feet and hands, turning to her right and running straight for the dumpster. Herbert virtually throwing the can to the right and sliding the dumpster to the left, grabbing the bike and getting it started. Now, as it does actually happen, Shinsho does actually hop on, as we do have Ghost, who has ran back up the stairs, and got through the door just as Shinsho got on the bike. Now, with that, this is whenever Izuki quickly just begins to take off, and speed out of the alleyway, Ghost following them and trying to pursue them, going into a running sprint. Now, Izuki, she's getting up to around 50 to 60 miles an hour. However, as soon as they did begin to build up speed, Ghost was actually getting faster, and almost caught them, as they quickly just begin to speed away. And Ghost, she may be fast, but she cannot be faster than a motorized vehicle. And she actually did quickly give up the pursuit. As soon as they got out of the alleyway, they headed to the right, and they did not slow down at all, speeding away quickly. Ghost turning around and actually heading back for her original target. She already did sabotage the man's vehicle, and any vehicles nearby. She stuck her hands through the hood of the vehicles and pulled out important wires and basically destroyed the battery connections. So, she assassinates her target and disappears. Izuki and Shinsho hearing about it the next day that a man was found dead on the streets, and it seems like his name was a fake alias being said, or the identity that the man did have at the time. Now, Izuki and Shinsho actually do document this, and list it down and explain to their people about what did happen. Now, it was quite interesting. They encountered another one of these strange people, enhanced, part of a program. So, exactly what does it mean? And who is Ghost? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I will catch you guys in the next part.